Hey everyone, welcome back to Talkin' Tech, where tech makes sense. If you're new to the channel, my name is Tony, and I give practical tech tips and reviews. Today, we're going to explore DirecTV Now at the 2-year mark and see if it's still worth subscribing. Before we get started, I want to make sure that you watch till the end of the video where I discuss details about my upcoming giveaway. If you've been paying attention to Cord Cutter News or you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that AT&T has been beta testing a new streaming device nicknamed, or I guess it's probably named now, Osprey. If you aren't aware, go back and watch some of my previous videos as I covered the device pretty in depth and you can learn a few things about it. With that said, a lot has changed in 2 years with DirecTV Now. For those of you that aren't aware, when AT&T first released DirecTV Now, they offered a lifetime package price where you got the middle tier, which is called Go Big, for the price of Live a Little for life. Also, if you prepaid for 3 months up front, you got a 4th gen Apple TV for free, which of course, I definitely did. So I've been an early adopter with AT&T since they first came out, and now I have their Osprey device, so I'm pretty familiar with their features. Alright, enough about that. Let's dive into the nuts and bolts about the features they've added, some of the stuff they haven't changed, and some of the things I wish they would change, and let you know if it's still worth subscribing.
One of the first things I want to discuss is the currently available packages. They have changed, as have their prices. As I mentioned earlier, I signed up on a promo deal that offered me the Go Big package, which is their middle package, for the price of the Live a Little package. At the time, that was, I believe, $30 or $35. I can't exactly remember, but that sounds about right to me. And what that allowed us to do is keep, and we would keep that package price for life as long as we stayed as a concurrent subscriber. If I'm honest, that's one of the main reasons, along with the free Apple TV, that I really considered signing up for DirecTV Now. And quite frankly, it's probably the main reason I'm still here today. Anyway, looking at the packages, there are a few more options available today than there were when they launched. The ones that they launched with were Live a Little, Go Big, and Gotta Have It. Today they've added Just Right and Todo y Mas. So looking over these packages, the Live a Little is the 65 channel package, which I would consider the basic cable. You know, when you sign up with a cable company, this is probably what you're going to get. The CNN, HBO, HGTV, TBS, that kind of a thing. The Just Right package added some adult interest channels, Sci-Fi, Travel Channel, Game Show Network, Oprah Winfrey Network, if you're into that sort of thing. And then the Go Big really focused on adding sports channels. So to me, that was a huge value add, getting the FS2, SEC network, and things like that. The Gotta Have It added movie channels, which I guess is Stars, but I've never really considered Stars and Encore as a premium movie channel. And then Todo y Mas, which is something that I guess I wasn't super familiar with, and it looks like it adds Spanish channels with English channels, so I'm guessing it's Live a Little plus some Spanish channels. Now, one of the main reasons why I really wanted to switch to DirecTV Now was their ability to add sports channels. When I was originally trying to cut the cord, PSVue offered only ESPN or Fox Sports. Now, for my local teams, I need to watch both. And unfortunately, that was a hard limit for me, and I ended up with DirecTV Now. But that also brings me to my next point with sports. ESPN3 has been absent from DirecTV Now for the last 2 months, something like that. Now, I've got it to work at times, even when people are saying it wasn't working, including my friends. However, that is a really big deal to me. They kind of went through college football season with a contract dispute or whatever kind of bogus argument that they need. The saving grace is my ISP does provide ESPN3 access and, quite frankly, a lot of other channels. So that brings me to why I'm making this video today. Also, when I signed up, they ended up offering HBO for $5 a month, which they still do. And they comped it for all of us early adopters for a calendar year to kind of make up for some of the messes that they had when they first launched. Now, you can get Showtime for that same price. I don't I don't watch Showtime as much as other people probably do. I watch a lot of HBO originals, and it's just nice to have it on demand whenever I need it. One of the other things that they offer right out of the gate is 2 concurrent streams. Now, I live by myself, so I don't necessarily need more than that. That's more than plenty, and there are other ways around it using the ESPN apps, especially for sports. But, and you are able to add a third stream for $5 a month. Again, not something that I need, but families, that's something for them to consider. Let's take a little bit more look at these channels here. I'll kind of expand it. I'll go real high level on them because it is kind of a lot to take in. But again, like I said earlier, the Live a Little package is mostly what you're going to get with basic cable. And quite frankly, that's what probably 95% of people are going to want. As you can see, it provides CBS, and then it doesn't provide the CBS Sports Network. But again, that's something that comes in the Go Big package, which I watch stuff on CBS Sports Network. A lot of the other channels that are included in Go Big that aren't included in the others are probably, second, third tier channels. Destination America. I would probably consider that a third tier channel. I mean, yeah, they probably have some good programming, and yes, I've watched it, but is that something I'm going to miss? No. All right, now that we've kind of taken a look at the channels here, let's go ahead and get logged into the service and take a peek at what we're dealing with here. Now, obviously, this is the web version, so it's going to be a little bit different than what most people do on their streaming devices, but we can still take a look, and it still has the same general components. One of the biggest downsides to me is a lack of a recall or last channel, something like that, to allow you to go back really quickly between multiple programs. They do have a favorite channels option. However, that's not quite the same thing. Now, I get it that they are limited based on streaming player remotes, but you can build something into the interface. I mean, it's no different than adding a record button, something of that nature. Now, granted, it is a lot easier to navigate on the PC than it is going to be on a streaming device. However, it is still a pain to go to full screen. It's generally 2 buttons to go full screen, and then I have to click back twice to get to the guide. There's no reason that needs to be a thing. It should have a guide option like the record button, whatever. You're not cluttering the interface. You're making it more user-friendly. With that said, the Osprey streaming device did add channel buttons. That is an advantage. However, I don't think we can get too excited for that, as that is pretty clearly designed for their DirecTV streaming, not for DirecTV Now. If they end up adopting it and maybe it'll work for it in the long run, that'd be great, because that does make getting around a little bit easier. You just have to memorize the channels, but that's no different than what we did with cable anyway. I could still tell you the channel number for ESPN back 20 years ago. One of the nice things about the guide on DTV Now, it does allow you to go back to previously broadcast shows. Now, I think it's limited benefit, but it is still a benefit nonetheless, so I thought I would point it out. You can go back quite a bit. I think you can go back multiple days even. It looks like I can go back to Tuesday the 18th, which is pretty nice. So I can, if for some reason I missed a show and I want to see what the episode was called, so I can find it later on. I think that's something that's decent anyway. One of the best features that they've added over the years has been their cloud DVR. I was pretty disappointed that they didn't have this on launch, but the fact that they've added it is, a forgivable offense. It's here now. What I don't like about it is it does give you 20 hours of recording, but it will delete the recordings after, I believe, 4 weeks or 30 days. I can't remember exactly what it is, and from what I can tell, there's no way to change it because it's still in beta. This has been in beta for almost a year, I think, but it does work and it does function well. This was one of the biggest things for me to get rid of when I cut the cord was the DVR. I found other means for the time being, but at the time it was a big deal. I don't use it as much anymore. I mean, you see Jersey Shore, no judging. It's a guilty pleasure. Floribama Shore, I don't know why that's recording. Probably because it's recommended. I don't know. Anyway, it's not something I use very often anymore. But it is there, and it is functioning, and it does its job. One of the negatives is it doesn't allow you to rewind live TV. You can pause it and you can, you come back to it, but you can't rewind it, which is not awesome for sports because there's a lot of times that I want to see the replay more often than the replay is going to be showed. One of the other things that we can talk about is the Discover feature. So they have a ton of on-demand content, and from what I understand, they are working and they've been adding more and more. Let's just pick a show that I watch, Gold Rush here. And I can log in here. Let's say I haven't watched it in a couple days or a couple weeks. I can log in here and am able to jump on and just play it directly from their interface. Now, I generally don't do this because I use their direct apps. I think it works better most of the time. And when it first launched, it was really buggy. And this way, it's not so buggy. On top of that, one of the nicer features that they've added is the restart from beginning. If you come into a program even with 1 minute left, you can restart the program from beginning, which I have used quite a bit. When it first launched, it was insanely buggy and it would crap out, and I just never ended up watching shows that way. So adding the DVR and getting that feature working has been awesome. Now that I've shown you the quirks and features, to quote Doug DeMiro, we'll go through a recap here real quick.
Now that we went through DirecTV Now 2-year review, I want to talk about something I brought up at the beginning of the video, my giveaway. I plan on giving away a Google Home Mini. I was going to say once I hit 25 subscribers, but I already hit that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one Home Mini for 25 through 50 subscribers between now and we'll say January 18th, which is a Friday. If somehow I get over or get close to 100, I'll give away 2 Google Home Minis. They are the chalk. I know this is not the hottest thing in the market right now, but they are pretty cool. I thought that they were kind of overrated until I had one, and now I have a bunch of them. I do have plans for the future to give away some type of flagship phone if and when I get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm not ready to release that yet. That'll be a different giveaway, but keep that in mind. Be sure to share my content, and it'll help us get there quicker. To recap, DirecTV Now, after 2 years, price is ultimately what brought me in, and honestly, it's what's keeping me here right now. I'm sure there are better services out there. Since I'm grandfathered into the current price point that I am, I see no reason to change. The one way that will stop me from feeling that way is if they don't resolve the ESPN3 debacle. Now, like I said earlier, I can use my cable or my ISP to access that content, but that makes it easier for me to kick any service altogether. So, I mean, overall, at this point, I would not recommend it. I got a free Apple TV, and I got lower price for life, essentially. I just don't see the benefit right now. I think there's better services out there, namely Hulu. Like I said, I have a couple friends that switched to that. I just think that if you're going to cut the cord, I think you can do better. There's so much content out there right now on Amazon, Netflix, YouTube. I don't know, unless you're dying for live TV. I mean, it does have a lot of channels. That's great. It does have a cloud DVR. It functions. It's not awesome, but it functions. So, I mean, there are benefits to it. At the end of the day, I don't feel like I can recommend it to you. If you like today's content, be sure to hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments for me, please leave them down below. And make sure you hit that subscribe button and share my content. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.